Alright, and we should be live. Hello everybody and welcome to the Freshman League out here in Austin for round 11 of the championship. You're joined once again by me, Tucson028, and the lovely...
Hey guys, it's me, Natty G, and we're back again for round 11 here in the Freshman League at the Circuit Americas, and hopefully it should be a really great race with a diverse strategy.
Yeah, and once again, Nas, we started the stream and it automatically has gone straight on to Tiger Assassin, so it gives us a good chance to talk about Haas in the championship at the moment. So currently sit in 10th and last place, but recently have been getting a lot more points virtue of Tiger's decent performances. Another good one last time out in Japan as well, finishing up in 5th place, I believe it was. Getting more good points than for the American team, this obviously being their home race as well. It's all British lineup of Tiger and Robert Codfather. Tiger currently finds himself on the medium size at the moment then, so we could have a interesting blend of strategies going forward into the race. But Naj, I think you have some news for us about the championship.
So the championship can be won today by the Red Bull driver Absolute 11. If he outscores RC8, I think it's by 11 points, then he will be crowned the second Freshman League champion of the season. Obviously, Jutsikev is still in the championship fight, but will need to outscore Absolute to maintain his chances of winning the championship.
Yes, certainly. I think Chonios is just about hanging on in there as well on 133 points to Absolute's 191, but needless to say, Chonios would need quite a big disaster for the Red Bull driver in order for him to stay in championship contention then. But actually, interesting fact, if Absolute were to win the Freshman League today, it would be the second time that a Red Bull driver has won the Freshman League. So apparently if you want to win the Freshman League, drive a Red Bull. Yeah, that's going to be Absolute then coming through turn 1. Let's ride on board with him then as he begins this flying lap on a set of soft tyres. Only 4 drivers out in the mediums at the moment, but here we come then through the S's. Actually taken very cautiously by Absolute down to 6th gear then for the final S, and through the left-hander and up the hill to 25.3 for the first set. So I think this is a exploratory lap of some sort for Absolute 11 at the moment, because I think he'll be going a lot faster than that on a time that would be able to give him pole position. You've got yellow flags in the middle sector, but that's not going to bother Absolute. Now coming down the back straight and have DRS open now for the rest of the straight in the Red Bull car. And now let's just think about the braking zone, looking at the 50-meter board on the right-hand side. We're going to start braking down into 3rd gear, hard brake, down to 2nd gear for Absolute. And short shift up through the gears now to get the traction out of the corner, and now through the very long, never-ending midsection of the final sector here, and now through this very late apex left hand, and you can see how easy it is there to drift out wide of the understeer of these 2020 cars. They're around this kind of backwards turkey turn 8 corner. Usually it's out of the way through. I don't think the drivers necessarily have the grip at the moment to take that corner in full commitment. We're going to come around the final corner now, down into 4th gear for Absolute, down to 3rd, and a short shift up through the gears once again. Let's drive to the line now. What's it going to be for Absolute in this provisional pole, Natty? 1 minute 32.7.
Yeah, a good lap from Absolute. Probably might be able to improve. A bit cautious through the first sector. Currently 4 tenths quicker than JMB Cyril. Behind him, Jutsikev as well. 9 tenths behind on the medium tyres. So already we've got a few different strategies as Tonios goes quickest with a 132.1.
And yeah, very, very solid time there from Tonios. And another driver, as we just said, Natty, in the championship hunt at the moment. His teammate for this race, JMB Cyril, coming into the pits then. I think, yeah, that's a very good lap there from Tonios, really showing a statement of intent, to going out there and fight for this win. We've got Hampton coming down the back straight. Let's see if there's anyone closer to the pit. To the pit straight even to finish that lap. Got Ace Sabo now. We'll pick him up through turn 19 and 20. Coming around the final corner, then Ace Sabo to the line. What's it going to be for the Alfa Romeo driver? It's a 1 minute 33.6, so it goes up into 4th position, but not enough to trouble the front runners at the moment. Oh, it's got Jutsikev off, and I think Absolute celebrating a bit early there. They're both celebrating a bit early. Got both Red Bulls now doing donuts at the end of the...
celebrating their constructors. Chances of constructors. Do they wrap up the constructors?
I believe they actually have, because they've taken nearly every win this race.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they have definitely set up the constructors. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
the Red Bull also won constructors last season, so once again, if you want to win the championship in the freshman, drive the Red Bull.
Well, they never had a 1-2 in the championship though, Natty. So if Jessica can't get past RC8 by the end of the season, then that's a Red Bull record that hasn't been broken yet. But yeah, nice to see the two drivers then getting on very well and doing some coordinated donuts. I'm sure Christian Horner will be talking to those two about that. I don't think they're going to start the race on those tyres somehow, Natty.
Yeah, Hampton goes up into 6th place. We've got Ted as well, another one to do a lap on the medium tyres. So potentially trying to do the one stop from the mediums to soft or the medium hard. The strategy's going to be interesting in the race. I think many different options available to the drivers, but I think one stop is probably the most likely.
I think would be the most likely, Natty. It depends if we see drivers go for a soft medium or maybe medium soft as Sour the Mister after setting a purple sector 1 goes very wide at the hairpin before the back straight. DRS open though now for the Ferrari. They come down this back straight then up to speeds of over 200 miles an hour before heavy braking into the next corner at the 50 meter board down into second gear, get the turn and on the power once again. Short through the gears. It's been a season of bad luck really. Sour the Mister getting caught out a lot of times in the races either by mistakes of his own or by others, although mostly by others. My mind comes back to Belgium, where both Ferraris were taken out on lap 1 at Radion, or last week in Sochi even. Sorry, 2 weeks ago in Sochi, where, yeah, bad things happened to Sabo and his teammate then, but Sabo coming around the final corner now actually dives into the pit lane, Natty, so chooses not to finish that lap on the medium. So again, we're seeing maybe an exploratory lap for these drivers on the mediums at the moment. Probably going to start the race on the softs.
Yeah, the majority of drivers doing quali laps on the softs. Only 3 people, so 4 people, 2 people are on the mediums now. JMB Cyril set a lap on the mediums. I think Gavra set his fastest lap on the mediums and is back out on the soft tyres. So it looks like he might be keen to start on the softer compound.
Interestingly, Natty, I think JMB Cyril did that fastest lap time on a set of softs. He's now back out on a set of the medium compound tyre, the yellow striped medium compound tyre, and he's going to go for another lap here, seeing if he can beat his best time on the softs. Yes, indeed, he did do that fastest lap time on the soft tyres, so that's very interesting from the AlphaTauri. Obviously feels like he can go faster with a set of mediums on the car.
Potentially, that might have just been a bank lap on the softs maybe to try and get a feel for the track conditions. We'll have to see if he can improve on his medium time, but he's up in the 3rd place. RC8.
So yeah, RC8 goes into 2nd place then, just over a 10th behind Turnios, and lap time still at a 32.1 though. I think we're going to see drivers beating that lap time as we get further on in this session.
Yeah, I'm just riding on board with JMB Cyril now to see if he can improve on the mediums. So if he can improve from his soft run, it could be a pretty impressive lap from him. Hooked up turn 1 pretty nicely, not extending the track limits through the S's, nice and clean through the first sectors. Albagref's retired on the pit lane. I think he's crashed into the pit lane entrance.
Ooh. And indeed he has that. I think he has crashed into that pit exit entrance even. We did see Mares do something very similar in the... I think it was in the freshman last season actually, where he was replacing someone in the McLaren, crashing into that pit wall where it's quite an easy thing to do. Obviously the entrance to the pit lane is very quick, and with these cars being, having so much downforce, you go full send, full commitment into the pit entry as you do, and yeah, it doesn't always come off with you because of the understeer of these F1 cars. So unfortunate there for our baggy ref, but he's going to be qualifying down in 18th then for this one.
And I'm looking at JMB Cyril's sector times, and he's almost 2 seconds, slower in the middle sector on his soft time. So it doesn't seem to be, he's matched his sector 1 time, but has lost a lot of time in the middle sector. So it might not be an improvement from the AlphaTauri on those mediums he decides to come into the pits.
Yeah, I was about to say then, Natty, maybe going out for a bank lap on softs wasn't the best thing to do. I think he thought he had more grip from the tyres than he actually did, and that has inhibited his sector 2 time. Got a Red Bull though coming around the slow left-hander there at turn 16 to 15 even, turn 16, 17 and 18 down towards turn 19, the second to last corner. here in Kota then. So Jitsi Kev on a set of soft tyres now. Let's see what he can do. He's going to come around the final corner now and up to the line. What's it going to be for Jitsi Kev? Third place in the championship. It's going to be first place on the grid, or at least provisional first place, as Jitsi Kev then goes to provisional pole on a set of soft tyres in the Red Bull. But Absolute 11 Natty is 7/10 up through the first sector here.
This could be a really good lap from Absolute, current championship leader. In the Red Bull, coming through just to start the second sector now. Only just noticed the Tigers in fourth place, so another good quali lap from him. He's only 8/10 behind Jitsikev, yellow flags in the first sector.
I think that's the car getting out of the way. But yeah, certainly Tiger over the past couple of races has really seemed like a driver nipping at the heels of that top three, the infamous top three here in the Freshman Series. Absolute 11 now, 8/10 up through the middle sector on his lap time. Currently a second behind Jitsikev. Has just done the fastest middle sector of absolutely anybody though. We're going to come through the kind of reverse Turkey turn 8 style corner and down towards turn 19 now, a track where in 2012 we saw a lot of drivers abusing the track limits, and indeed last year in IndyCar drivers were using all of the tarmac on the outside. But Absolute then comes around a final corner, really playing about with the gears there to the line. What's it going to be? 31.4 Natty. He goes to provisional pole now ahead of his teammate.
Yeah, really good lap from Absolute. Hooked up nicely in all three sectors. Ted as well got himself up into sixth place, decided to abandon the medium tyre strategy, put on a set of softs and has got it up into sixth place. I think he's replacing Alex Gunnar Mack in this race.
Yeah, well, Alex Gunnar Mack or Triple Low, because, yeah. But either way, we only have one Mercedes on the grid, unfortunately, with us for this race. Hampton going very wide at the hairpin there. And slows down, in fact, so has bailed on that lap, maybe trying to give his teammate a bit of slipstream, although Brizzy is on an out lap, so I would doubt that.
Yeah, fairly close quali session in the midfield. A really good lap though from Absolute. It's a Red Bull 1-2 at the minute. We'll see if anyone can knock the two Red Bulls off the front row. Ace de Sabo has gone a tenth quicker in the first sector on his flying lap. See if he can improve on his current lap. He's set a 1 minute 33.4. See if he can get closer to his teammate RC8.
So currently sat on the 1:33.4, as you say, Natty, less than a tenth ahead of Tonturi, who's just come back into the pits after his latest flying lap. And Ace Savo finds himself down on the fifth row of the grid at the moment, then coming down the back straight and into the left-hander, heavy braking once again for the Alfa Romeo driver. Again, Natty, a series where we do often have a first lap safety car incident. In fact, after setting the fastest middle sector time there, that just popped up on my screen. Ace Savo has actually invalidated the lap, Natty, so that's going to be a waste of tyres then and a waste of the lap. Unfortunately for the Alfa Romeo driver, he'll be coming back to the pit lane very quickly. Does have just enough time, I think, to get back out on track and do another lap, but he's going to complete the lap here, Natty, actually.
I was going to say he might be going for another one, but he's only got 12% of his ERS left, so I won't be able to set a as competitive time. He will run out of ERS. I'm going to assume down the back straight.
I think
and he's invalid at the first corner.
So that really has not worked then for Ace Sabo.
I don't think he's going to get back to the pits and be able to set another lap. So that's going to be Ace Sabo down in 10th place.
Yeah, that's unfortunate then for Ace Sabo. We've got our drivers now coming out for their final runs. Jitsi Kev's come out of the pits, Natty. I'm not seeing any movement from Absolute 11's garage. Let's see if he does decide to come out here. Ace Sabo has retired from the session, so he will be starting no higher than 10th then. And in fact, Absolute 11 has come back out onto the race circuit for another attempt at defending his pole position time, Natty. Got Jitsi Kev going very slowly.
I think he's waiting for his teammate. I think he wants the slipstream on his lap and try and beat his teammate from pole position. We know the two Red Bull boys are quite racy. We saw them in Russia coming through wide down at turn 3, so I don't think Jitsi Kev is shy of beating Absolute's time.
As Tonios is on a lap there, but he's backed out through the mid-first sector, and he's going to allow his teammate through now as Jitsi Kev is trying to get out of the way of all of these other cars. Let's follow Absolute then through this sector, and in fact Jitsi Kev is... a bit of miscommunication there maybe. Are they doing a side... are they doing some formation driving, are they? Through the first sector, but yeah, Jitsi Kev and Absolute, they're going wheel to wheel for a little bit. Oh, they're still going to go for it. They're really milking this Constructors' Championship win, aren't they, now? So they need to get out of the way, though, because Edison's on a lap behind them, so they really do need to hurry up and get out of the way here. Oh, they're doing donuts again. I don't think they have any intention of starting the race on these tyres, or indeed going for another qualifying lap, so we won't pay too much more attention to them. But Tonio's here, Natty, actually taking a second lap, to get the tyres back up to temperature, save the ERS and everything, and burn down the fuel, and go for it again here, it looks like.
Antonio's currently 6/10 behind Absolute 11, so he needs to find a fair bit of time to knock Absolute off pole position. But never say never, and obviously the track evolves in the qualifying session, so he might be able to find the 6-7 tenths he needs to put it on pole.
Yeah, as J&B Surreal then talking about finding extra time, he didn't find any on his most recent qualifying lap there. Natty only stays in 7th position on 1 minute 33.1.
I think is Absolute 11 going for a lap. I think he's actually going to try and do a lap on those softs.
Certainly
looks like it.
Although Natty, Tiger Assassin here is 3/10 up on his best lap time coming through the final couple of corners now. Has missed the apex at turn 19, now for turn 20, breaking down to second gear to get the turn and get the traction once again. Here comes Tiger Assassin to the line, it's third place! Tiger Assassin on 1 minute 32.1 puts himself up into third and ahead of Tonio's, Natty.
Antonio's is a tenth and a bit down through the first sector, so this is really looking really good for the Haas driver at the team's home Grand Prix. Antonio's still a tenth and a bit down the back straight now, so if he can find all the time in the middle sector, the gap is less than a tenth between the two. This could be really close if Tonio's can crawl it back through the middle and final sector.
If in the middle sector then, Tonio 600ths up on his lap time, Natty has done the fastest middle sector of absolutely anyone here so far at qualifying for the American Grand Prix, even as he's got a bit wide though and got a bit slidey. He hasn't got any traction out of turn 15, and now we're going to come through the right-hander, triple apex right-hander down towards turn 19, down into 5th gear, then doesn't track extend on the outside, knows he has to get this lap in to try and better his grid position then to the line. Then it's going to be Tonio to the line. What's it going to be? It's a 1 minute 32.1. Tiger's third.
Well, here comes RCA now to the line.
RCA goes second.
The Red Bulls 8 tenths quicker than his personal best. So close between him and Absolute 11. 9 thousandths behind off pole position.
Well, we've got the top 5, Natty, all in the same second as Chitsy kept doing some more donuts. I think
Absolute's come to join him.
Yeah. on the Lone Star there, the Lone Star State, obviously this being Texas and all. But yeah, we're gonna be treated to some synchronized donuts from the Red Bulls. I do hope they know they have to start the race on these tyres.
I don't think they set their quickest lap. Hopefully they're fresh set of tyres. They have burnt out a set of softs now. Or 2 sets of softs, I think, for the race.
Ah, yes. That is true. They're going to burn out their engines as well.
Otherwise they might get a 5-place grid penalty.
They always have to be careful not to be stuck out on track for too long, because that will disqualify them from the session anyway. If we could save the donuts for Abu Dhabi, please, lads, that would be great. We'll have a big donut session after the season's over.
I think that's everyone. We're just waiting for Jitsikev now, I think, to either retire or finish
crash.
the lap. And he's left the session.
Oh dear.
He's been disqualified.
Oh dear. And the celebrations at Red Bull have been cut short somewhat.
That's quickly backfired.
That has very quickly backfired indeed,
Hopefully
Natty.
he can rejoin the session before the race starts, otherwise I think this car would just go.
Has he been kicked out of the session? Alright, anyway then, let's take ourselves through the grid here. Absolute 11 on pole, RC8 second, Tiger Assassin in third, he has joined back there, Tonio's in fourth, Ted in fifth, J&B Surreal in sixth, GSY Bates in seventh, Brizzy in eighth, Ace to Sabo in ninth, and Tonchuri rounding out our top 10 here at Kota. Sabo the Mister just missing out on the top 10 positions, but we'll have free choice of tyre in 11th, Ellison 12th, Hampton 13th, Daza 14th, Robert Codfather 15th, Infameda 16th, Albakifer 17th, and Jutsikev, after being disqualified, will line up 18th and last for the United States Grand Prix here in Texas.
And I think the last time Jutsu Kev started at the back, I think he won the race.
He did yeah, that was in Spa, wasn't it? When he came from the back to win. He started in 19th that day though, so I think his job's a little bit easier for him today.
And I believe Absolute 11 also, his teammate started at the back in the Netherlands and went on to
Yeah,
win
I
that
think
race.
in fact the last time it started like this, JC kept at the back and absolutely at the front on pole position. The field was basically in a massive Red Bull sandwich. It did. It did finish with a Red Bull 1-2 with Jitsi Kev ahead of Absolute. But just again, for the title, sorry, Absolute only has to outscore RC8 by 11 points to win the title today. So that is with, sorry, Jitsi Kev, sorry, Absolute in first and RC8 in fourth or below. So keep an eye out on that during the race. If RC8 is fourth or below and Absolute is leading the race, then Absolute will be our champion here today.
It could be because he left the session, but I don't see Jutsu Kev on the right hand on the loading screens on the right. Has he been kicked off the grid?
Has he been kicked off the grid and maybe he's only able to spectate now? Because that would be bad. His car's on the grid.
I do see a Red Bull. Hopefully he can join back.
Let me see if I can ride on board with anyone who might be able to see. Ah, we've got cars stuck on. Oh no. Oh, people have someone stalled. Alright, let's see if... The tricky thing here is that because obviously the Jutsu's starting at the back, we don't know if that's him controlling that car or if it's an AI.
I'm on board with him for Melon. He's got a red exit next to his own, but I think he hasn't been in the lobby yet. I think he's in like the menu screen, but I don't think he's taken control of his car.
Can he take control though? Because obviously the game might not allow for him to. He's still got the red exo by his name. I'm looking at the back of Infamela as well now. He should really be in position for the formation. There you go. Alright, anyway, so let's have a look at the tyres then, Natty, for this race. I think you said soft to medium one stop. Let's see what everyone's gone with then. Let's get the tyres up on the screen if I can find them. There we go. So, two drivers then starting on the medium tyres. Saba the Mister and Hampton. Everybody else, Natty, on a set of the softs.
Yeah, it looks like to be a soft to medium, maybe a soft to hard if they can't stretch these soft tyres further enough. But I think a soft to medium is possible if they look after the tyres. It is quite sunny, so I don't think there's a chance of rain. And obviously the track temperature is going to be slightly higher. So maybe a soft to hard or a soft to medium. We'll have to wait and see.
I don't think Jutsi knows how to get back into his car. He just come in the chat and said that you need to if you press square and open the spectator menu, you should be able to scroll through until you find your name, press X and then go down to take control, and you should be able to get back in the car. Jitsukev hopefully will have you back in for the race, but it's going to be Absolute who takes his pole position slot then on the grid. The game is not allowing him to take control of his car. Oh, actually, there you go. Predicted pit stop strategy then, coming in on lap 11 to 13 for a set of mediums, or lap 10 to 13 for a set of hards. So, Jutsukev is definitely out of this one then. So, won't be winning from the back once again here in the freshman league. We're going to have Absolute on the pole, his championship rival, RC8, also on the front row. You couldn't have asked for a better front row here in the circuit of the Americas. But we're going to go to 5 red lights. See the revs building then as we're going to get underway for 28 laps in the USA. It's lights out and away we go. R6 had a good start. Absolutely hasn't had access to the start, but look at the McLaren in the background there going down the inside of 3 cars into turn 1. Here goes Bruzzi down the inside up into 3rd momentarily. We've got no major crashes into turn 1. Everyone getting through nice and clean. The Absolute still leads then. R8 into second though, but we've had both of our drivers off the front row having very equal starts as they blast now through the S's for the first time. There's contact, Tiger, and Tiger's got damage on the front left. There's big damage there, and we've got a massive crash. I think we've got an Alfa Romeo around at the back. That's going to be Ace de Sabo. He's gone round, but Tiger picking up damage on lap 1. There's a Renault spun round in the background. That's Dazza who's spun round then. Gets his car back pointing the right way. And we have a virtual safety car straight off the bat here. And let's look at who has sustained some wounds then from the opening lap of racing. So we've got Absolute and RC8 both getting very equal starts off the line. And they have maintained position, turning us up into third. But Brizzy had a lightning start. Went down to the inside of absolutely everything at turn 1. But after a collision with Tiger Assassin, Tiger now has front left end plate damage. If the game will show me a better angle, we can try and get that for you. There, you can see it there on the front left hand side of the Haas. He does have damage on there, so we will see if he comes to the pits at the end of this lap. Maybe goes for a set of the hard tyres, Natty, and tries to go to the end of the race.
Yeah, Hampton Centuri picking up front wing damage as well. Ace de Sabo, I saw him completely go off into the barriers like Fernando Alonso did, and has absolutely no front wing.
We're back to green flag racing here.
Is Alfa Romeo.
A lot of cars with damage. Tunturi with damage as well on the front left-hand side of that racing point. The McLaren of Hampton has it as well. And then he goes Sabo the Mister, trying to get round Tunturi, and he's got round the McLaren, sorry, already. But Tunturi stays out then on this lap, despite having the wing damage. So in fact, does come in to the pit lane. But we've got cars going wheel to wheel down the main straight. Ted's gone wide at the final corner. Running on board with Ellison now. Yellow's in sector 3, and who's that? Is that a Ferrari in the pit wall? I think, okay, that has cleared itself up then, but Absolute still leads this race, and by 0.5 of a second from RC8. Brizzy is running a career best in third. Tiger stays out with that front wing damage, cuts the corner there a bit to try and keep up with the McLaren in front of him. Obviously with the front left wing damage, we'll be having some issues with understeer, as my interval gaps are freaking out, so I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah, JMB Surreal is closing in on Tiger. He does have that front wing damage, so we'll be looking to try and get past the Haas as quickly as possible. But yeah, Brizzy in their best, I think, third place he's in.
Yeah, that would be a career best finish if it finishes like this, but Tiger is all over the back of the McLaren now. It hasn't used the DRS to its advantage down the back straight. It's going to send it down the inside though, and Tiger Assassin barges his way past Brizzy and up into a net third position here.
Yeah, late lunge from Tiger. RC8 is well closing in on the back of Absolute 11. The leaders separated by 0.4 of a second roughly, and my intervals have only just come back.
Yeah, mine are back now as well, I think. Yeah, that looks all present and correct to me. Ah, no, Todios is in third, isn't he? So, yeah, I don't know why the game was showing me Tiger in third. Sorry about that, everybody. This game is not very good. But anyway, RC8 now with the DRS advantage, or should have it down this main straight, but isn't using it now. In fact, no one's using the DRS despite it being available to the drivers. I'm not sure if there's a glitch on their end. Maybe they're not seeing the DRS coming up, or they're pressing it, it's just not coming up on the stream for you. The rear wings open for you?
I don't think so, no.
Right, could you send an invite to Jitsi Kev? I think if I do, it's going to end the stream.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Alright, cool. Right, so I've got GSI base. Oh, actually got a Red Bull round. It's a Toro Rosso round, sorry. AlphaTauri even. JMV Surreal has crashed in the S. That's about 3 different teams there. But anyway, JMV Surreal has got his car pointed back in the right direction. Still got those yellows in sectors 1 and 2. Gets back on track then, but that will be a new front wing needed for that AlphaTauri. Another car off in sector 2. GSI Bates has gone very slowly off of the hairpin, but he's made his way now past Brizzy and up into 5th position at the moment. So Brizzy really not having a lot of pace in the opening stages of this race. RC8 is still battling with Absolute for the lead of the race, though. These two separated by 0.4 of a second over the last lap. As we've got Ted making his way past Ellison now for 7th place. We're going to stay up here with the leaders though.
And there's Ted getting past Ellison, ran wide a little bit in the middle sector, gets himself up into 7th place. Let's see how many points we can get for the Mercedes team.
Right, as now I'm just not getting any gaps whatsoever, so I have no idea how... Oh, we've got a Red Bull round! That's Jitsi Kev! And he managed to join back, and it's joined back at a bad time. But here comes RC8 with the DRS open up and towards turn 1. Will RC8 look for a move down the inside on a championship rival? Yellow's in sector 3 once again. I think that's the Red Bull round once again. But here comes RC8. He's got the cutback manoeuvre after turn 1 through turn 2 now, going to the S's. I don't think we're going to go side by side through here for the championship, but at the moment, Absolute will not be winning it today.
Jutsi Kev drifting through the long right-hander. I think that is him in the car. It is him in the car, so he's able to join back and take over. Took over at an awkward point kind of, I don't know whether there was contact between him and someone else, but Al-Baghdad's gone off and it's got air and he's out.
Oh dear, virtual safety car. Only a virtual safety car for a car taking flight. And yeah, I was up here with the leader, so we didn't catch that crash on stream, unfortunately.
I don't think there was contact between him and Hampton. It's hard to tell from the camera angle. It looked like he just went straight on it. I don't know, there might have been contact, it's hard to tell.
Well, Al-Baghdad has left the session there. Probably, I can understand his emotions at the moment then.
And I know we're under the virtual safety car, but Bates is really close behind Tiger's Haas, and we'll be looking to try and get as close to the Delta as he can to be able to capitalise on this restart. Tiger does have that front end plate damage, so he might come in for an early stop.
Oh, invalid drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. So that's going to severely affect his race. And RC8 though still 4/10 behind Absolute. He's tucked up under the rear wing of the Red Bull in front. If he can get a good exit here, Natty, DRS is enabled obviously just after the virtual safety car restart. So this will be a chance for Absolute if he can get a good exit, but he's had a poor exit, Natty, off the final corner.
Yeah, Brizzy was looking for a move on Bates, and Tiger's in for an early stop. Ted follows him in, and Tiger will be changing that front wing and probably go onto the hards.
Brizzy and GSY Bates though wheel to wheel down the main straight, both have DRS open. The Williams pulling ahead of the McLaren up into turn 1, gives the McLaren plenty of room on the inside. They're going to go wheel to wheel now. If the game will not show me a nose cam, you can actually see this battle there. Got the Williams on the inside through turn 2, now behind us in the McLaren as you go through the S's once again. Just see GSY Bates actually having a bit of dirty air then going over the curb and cutting the track, so we'll be receiving a warning for exceeding track limits there. So still watching behind the McLaren here to go up through the S. That's actually a good camera angle, so if you go back off board now with these cars.
And Jitsuke pitted under that virtual safety car for the hard. They might take him to the end. Tiger has gone onto the medium tyres, so could be a 2-stop from him. I think if those mediums will be going to the end.
That must be a 2-stop unless he's goal hanging for a safety car. GSY Bates all over the back of Brizzy. Now he's going to blast past the McLaren and gets himself up into 4th position once again. Oh, but GSY Bates has made a mistake, and now Brizzy's coming back down the inside, coming back at the McLaren. The two British teams are going wheel to wheel through the middle sector. GSY Bates now on the inside, but Brizzy swoops round the outside, gets a better traction off the corner. In fact, they're still wheel to wheel through turns 16, 17 and 18. As we head down towards turn 19 now, GSY Bates falling just a little bit behind. As we're going to go back up here to the leaders, as RC has DRS once again. And absolutely, as we head up towards turn 1, I think he's a bit too far maybe to make a move down the inside, and it is too far away to make a move down the inside on this occasion. GSY Bates are trying to get onto the back of Brizzy and past McLaren. Has the DRS open once again here, coming up in towards turn 1. He's going to make a move down the inside, does make a move down the inside, late braking, locks up into the corner, but gets the move done cleanly on the McLaren. But here comes Brizzy now coming back at the Williams once again. Nothing separated by these two as they head into the S's for the 6th time, and GSY Bates manages to stay ahead of his rival at the moment.
Yeah, really good battling for those guys. This is for that was for 4th place. A few more people into the pits. Ted, Hampton, Robert Goodfather all into the pits. But RC8 just trying to keep behind Absolute, saving some of his ERS. And we know he's good at saving his ERS, especially from the Russian Grand Prix, and has almost got within a second of the Alfa Romeo behind.
Yeah, and 6/10 now the gap between RC8 and Absolute, so Absolute starting to spread his wings a little bit as it were. We've got a massive DRS trade here, Natty, from 4th all the way down to 7th position at the moment, and they're all going to be wheel to wheel. In fact, Edison's going to go down the inside of Brizzy maybe into the next corner, and he's locked up. He's had to go wide. That's to avoid the McLaren and not career into the back of him, but good driving there from Edison to keep it out of the McLaren's gearbox.
Yeah, down an unfortunate crash there. We've got a nice train for 4th place. Saban the Misters also joining the back of it, but Dazza almost got past Ted and through the S's, but
Turnio's is in.
Back out on the move.
So the first of the front runners pits here, Natty, sorry to cut you off, but we've got Tonios in the pits, one of our championship contenders in the Freshman League, has come in early, so this is an undercut attempt then on his two rivals in this race. It's for the medium tyres, Natty. Is this a 2-stop maybe?
It could be a 2-stop. We've got a lot of drivers coming in quite early.
Sorry,
Well, that's around
RC8
that
is
10.
very close to the back of Absolute. I have no idea what happened there. I think Absolute made a mistake somewhere in the first sector. You've got RC8 taking it very slowly, trying to get a better exit, but he's got no traction. He's lost so much grip on those soft tyres now. They're really beginning to burn up. So was that the correct move from Tonios to get off these ailing soft tyres onto a fresh set of the mediums and see how far he can go in this race? 6 tenths of a second then between our top two. So come down the back straight. DRS open once again for RC8. Can he do something with it now as he head down towards the next corner? The left hand, they're breaking off the 50-meter board too far back on this occasion once again for RC8, but Absolute goes wide. That's going to give RC8 maybe a chance to get a cut back, switch back maneuver through this second part of the middle sector here.
Ellison also went wide at turn 8, and Saber was able to capitalise and move his way up into 5th place.
Oh, Ellison once again!
Really late on the brakes, almost went into the back of the Ferrari this time. Thankfully, didn't went wide on the kind of AstroTurf runoff area, but you can see everyone's starting to really struggle on these soft tyres. Bruzzi's wheel is a bit loose on the rear, Ellison as well, so maybe a 2-stop might be the ideal strategy for these guys.
You can see how our top two here are really struggling. You've got actually open up on the right hand side there, sorry if you couldn't see it, but it did say a 2-stop. This is the window, sorry, the pit stop window for a 2-stop strategy. I think we're going to see a lot of drivers maybe opt for that option as the tyre wear continues to increase around here. It's a lot higher than I think a lot of people anticipated for this race.
Just why Bates is the first of that battle for 4th place to come to the pits, and it's for the medium tyres, so a potential 2-stop again. I don't think he'll take those mediums to the end. I think lap 11 is the target lap to get a set of mediums to the end.
Yeah, I think you can see the amount of inputs that our front two are putting in to get around these corners. They just have no confidence really on this worn set of tyres. Saber the missed this all over Bruzzi as they come up the hill in the first sector. RC8 with DRS once again. Got yellow for sector 2. That's Sabo, it's Sabo! And he's spun round Natty, and once again, Sabo has been his own undoing here in Kota.
Unfortunate for Sabo, missing out in that battle. For 4th place, and then I don't know if there was contact, I didn't see, or whether he spun himself, but that's dropped him down to 6th place. But crucially, Tiger's got himself ahead of Bates after the pit stop, so the undercut.
Sorry, just had to grab another controller. As RC8 comes into the pits here.
Undercut for RC8 will try and get the jump on Absolute.
So what tyres does RC8 go to here? It's a set of mediums, Natty. That's a 2-stop, surely.
Oh, surely they're not going. Surely those mediums can't go to the end.
I don't think they can, Natty. Not 18 laps on mediums, maybe.
I was thinking maybe 16 laps on the mediums.
Because the at the beginning of the race, it said lap 11 to 13 for a set of mediums to the end, lap 10 to 13 for a set of hards. So all of a sudden, this race has just become very interesting indeed.
Ellison in for a set of mediums as well, and to change the front wing. So yeah, the strategy is really high.
Oh, Tonios has hit the back of Brizzy and has front right end plate damage, Natty. That's hugely unfortunate for Tonios, who was driving so well up in 3rd place. He's gone wheel to wheel with the McLaren, and he gets taken out there on the inside through turn 7.
Unfortunate for Tonios, he's just pitted onto the medium tyre, so he might come in a little bit early for another set of mediums, or even a set of hards, if he wants to get the wing changed as quickly as he can.
Yeah, indeed. We've got Tonios and Bruzzi now going wheel to wheel into the next corner. Bruzzi doesn't fight it too hard. He's on worn softs. Can't afford to get caught up in a battle with the AlphaTauri then. And Tonios gets himself back up into the podium positions once again here. Absolute 11 now in the pits. So responding then to RC8 coming into the pits. What's it going to be? It looks like hards. That's to the end of the race here, Natty. So Absolute committed to the 1-stop.
Yeah, I remember trying the 1-stop last season in the freshman. It worked. Didn't do the soft so hard, but...
Will he come out ahead of RC8 though? RC8 coming down the main straight is going to be really close. RC8's going to get out ahead. And and the undercuts work for RC8, then he leads this race. Absolute now behind him in second, but crucially, Natty, Absolute can go to the end of the race. We still don't know if RC8 can.
Now, if RC8 is on the 2-stop, this is really good for him. He can now try and extend the gap as big as he can to Absolute 11, so when he does come into the pits for another set of mediums or softs, he doesn't have too much time to close in come the end of the race.
So maybe this is work for RC8, maybe it hasn't, but this is a race where he really needs to start eating into Absolute 11's championship lead, and by some margin as well. Yellow's in sector 3, that's McLaren off, that's Hampton. At the final corner, he spun round, gets it pointed back in the right direction though, and he's going to be able to get underway fairly quickly once again.
Yeah, the gap out front is still around 1.2 seconds. Absolute, if you want to ruin RC8's strategy, you would ideally want to try and overtake him, but Absolute is
as you say that,
hard tires to the end.
As you say that, Absolute nearly drops the gap down to just under a second and getting that DRS advantage. In fact, does not have that DRS advantage. The gap is less than a second here, Natty, so he's clearly listening to you. Definitely picking up the pace. They're trying to ruin RC8's strategy a little bit here by getting back ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Got a good battle for 11th though, between Dazzler and JMB Surreal. Dazzler getting past but going wide at the hairpin. He's going to come down this back straight now towards the next corner. JMB Surreal has the inside line, pulls alongside the Renault and indeed past the Renault. It's going down into the next braking zone. And Jutsikev as well, that's behind us on the Alpha Tauri. Jutsikev going to the inside on Dazzler, and Dazzler loses two positions in the space of one straight. Jutzikev's going to try and get the cutback maneuver now on the Alpha Tauri. He's going to look to the outside line, can't get it done just yet. That's right on board with Jutsikev. Going to go down the inside maybe on JMB Surreal. No damage done there between each car. Dazzler as well lurking in the background once again, looking hungry on the back of that Aston Martin Red Bull racing car. Going to come down towards turn 19 now, still behind JMB Surreal. Let's run off board then with these two. JMB goes wide at the final corner, and that's now going to give Jutsikev a chance surely through this final sector, as you've got Robert Codfather around in the middle sector, and he's managed to get himself back in the right direction once again. Jutsikev all over the back of JMB Surreal, pulls to the inside line, and that's no contest really up and towards turn 1.
Jutsikev clean moves down the inside and gets himself up into 11th place. Will be trying to hunt down Ace de Sabo and Ted, just the two drivers in front of him.
Currently sits 7.3 seconds behind Ace de Sabo, so he will be doing his best to try and close that gap as quickly as possible. But a lot of the cars in front of Jutsikev at the moment, Natty, you would assume have to come into the pits once again for another set of tyres. I would say everyone who isn't on the hards at the moment.
David the Mister up in 4th place, hasn't stopped in this race, started the race on the mediums, and if everyone around him is on a 2-stop, he's in a really good position, so coming to the pits for a likely set of hards, I think. If everyone else is doing a 2-stop starting on the softs, I think he'll probably come in for another set of hards to go to the end of the race.
Well, if you've has Sabo the Mister, did he not? Hang on, let me check the race director very quickly here. Yes, Sabo the Mister has been on those tyres since the beginning of this race then, so that is quite the feat then from Sabo. To start the race, still be on lap 12, going strong on a set of the medium tyres. As you say, Natty currently finds himself in 4th position. We've got a lot of the field very strung out at the moment though, so oh, actually, that being said, Absolute, yeah. All over the back of RC8 once again.
Yeah, Absolute's closed the gap down to a tenth of a second, as Ted getting past Ellison down the start-finish straight. I think Ellison made a mistake going into the final corner, and gets himself up into 8th place.
And yeah, as you say, Natty, Absolute now closing onto the back of R6. He head down the back straight, the gap 7/10 of a second, and shrinking all the time. DRS and the overtake and the slipstream for the Red Bull. None of that for RC8, but does go wide into the next corner, and that's going to compromise his line now after the exit of the corner, and has denied him the opportunity to try and get back past RC8 into the lead of the race at the moment.
But yeah, we've got a variety of strategies. The majority of them 2 stops in the midfield, but everyone pitting on different laps. It's going to make it interesting when people pit and what tyres they decide to go to. But
of course, if there's a safety car, then none of this matters. So I think all strategy gets thrown out the window when that happens. And obviously, a series where we do have the odd safety car, but here comes Absolute then now with better straight line speed than the Alfa Romeo in front of him. Looks to the inside line, brakes later than the Alfa Romeo. I thought he was going to go for a move there down the inside and maybe send it on his championship rival, but no dice at the moment.
And penalties are going to be a crucial one in this race. Top two having none of them just yet. But it's hard to tell if RCA is on a two-stop. If he is, then he needs to get a gap to Absolute and start pushing on those mediums. Otherwise, he's going to come out for a pit stop behind him.
Oh yeah, more. That's a pit stop behind, especially if Absolute gets ahead of him now. What RC8 needs is to make Absolute push and use up those hard tyres that he's more vulnerable at the end of the race. The McLaren's going to get out of the way for us quite nicely there, so Hampton just moving over and letting these two cars through. Ellison and Ted going very close together through turn 1.
Here comes Absolute, 11 down the straight and gets past RC8.
Oh, that was done very easily there for Absolute, getting past RC8, his only champion, well, not only championship rival, but his closest rival in this race, and gets himself onto the lead of the race. That's the fastest middle sector as well, just to rub some salt into the wounds.
And currently has Hampton up in front, who hopefully get out of the way as soon as possible and let these guys go through, continuing with the race. But yes, Mister still in a really good position here on those mediums he started the race on.
Yeah, certainly, Nat. I think, could he go to the soft tyres maybe at the end?
Potentially. He's maintaining the gap to those around him. So he's definitely still got the pace in those medium tyres.
As Hampton moves over to let the Red Bull by, but hasn't let RC8 by into turn 1. He sent it on Absolute 11. That was really a big mistake for Hampton, and he's still racing the top two here. As Hampton nearly took out our race leader then, Natty. What an upset that would have been to this race.
And Ellison and Ted are still battling through the middle final sector. Ellison almost going from around the outside of Ted. The long stooping right hander at the corner that Rosberg made a mistake on Hamilton go through. But Ellison just eyeing up the back of Ted. Ted's been on those hard tyres for the past 7 laps. Ellison on fresher mediums has the DRS and overtake into turn 1. Sends one down the inside, a little bit late on the brakes, really late on the brakes
Very
actually.
late on the brakes.
And Ted is able to get back through up into 8.
As I'm back up here for leaders then, Natty, so RC8 doesn't seem to have the pace of Absolute at this point in time, and still struggling to get past the Red Bull even on those fresher medium compound of tyre.
Maybe it's just the DRS that RC might be struggling a little bit on those mediums, and when he gets through, Absolute is able to just tuck in the 16 with DRS and beat with RC8.
I feel like RC8 is running with slightly higher wings than Absolute, because he has such a massive advantage through the middle sector where all of the twisty stuff is. In fact, Absolute goes very wide into the final corner, and this is RC8's chance to get back into the lead of this race. He will have DRS as we come off the final corner, then a little bit of slidey action from the Alfa Romeo. The gap is 0.3 of a second here. Let's see if RC8 can finally get past Absolute on track, and they're going to head up towards turn 1, but still Natty too far back. Even with the DRS, he still can't get past Absolute.
And Absolute also has a lot of DRS to play with, 68% compared to RC8's 38. So he's definitely able to defend from the Alfa Romeo behind, and pretty much running 1-1 wings compared to what RC8's using.
That must be very frustrating for RJ. You can see here once again, you're just able to carry so much more speed through this first section, but now down to straight and crucially into the DRS zone. You're going to see Absolute pull away from us in a straight line now, and there's just nothing you can do as a driver. You get that really sinking feeling when the other car in front just pulls away from you down every straightaway, and there's nothing that you can do. But Absolute's had a bad exit, Natty, and here comes RC8 and DRS open once again, using all of the overtake he has. Going to go to the inside line now, going to blast past the Red Bull as it's now in our rear view mirror down into the next corner, closes the line off for Absolute. He's going to try and get the cut back though, maybe, as we head down this mini straight into the next right hander. Can Absolute go for a move down the inside? Decides not to go for it on this occasion.
Yeah, I really wants to see what he can do in the final few corners, because I think he knows that our Absolute 11 is going to be able to fight back down the start-finish straight. He's got plenty of ERS. Absolute won't know that, but he knows that he's running less wings than he is, so.
And crucially though, Matty, Absolute 11 is now using up his tyres a bit more to try and stay in this battle with RC8 for the net race lead. DRS open then for Absolute, going to head up towards turn 1 then. Look at how much we're gaining on the Alfa Romeo. And someone got traffic on the inside. Does Absolute go for a move here? Doesn't go for a move just yet. So very respectful driving then between our two championship rivals. Got a car, it's Tunturi in the way at the moment then, but he'll be getting out of the way momentarily. I am sure we're going to come through the S's once again for the 16th time now. We're already at over half race distance here.
Yeah, RCA really, he wants to try and get as much of a gap through the first sector so Absolute 11 doesn't close as much down the back straight, already up to 6/10. So he's had a decent middle sector, lost out a little bit on the exit of turn 9.
But now, Natty, RCA will have DRS because Tonturi's in front of him, and we're getting out of the way fairly quickly, I'm sure, as Absolute now does have DRS, but RCA doesn't have it actually. RCA doesn't get the DRS and doesn't have it open, the little letterbox in the rear wing. So here comes Absolute down into the next corner. Can he make this move on RC8's stick? Can't do it just yet. Tonturi does get out of the way for our leaders there, so that's good to see from him. Very respectful driving there. That's what we like to see. RC8 and still leads this race, but has had a horrible exit, slides through that corner there before we get to the late apex left-hander. We're going to go through the reverse Turkey turn 8 style corner now, and that was a big slide. RC8 manages to keep it all together, get it collected and back up, and it's going to continue round the final 2 corners of this track, then turn 19 and turn 20 coming to the final corner now. Let's see what kind of exit he can get. Good helicopter shot here from the game. The first good shot is giving me all day. Absolute in second place. Absolute in second place, sorry, still behind RC8 who leads this race on lap 17, so just over 10 laps to go then, and let's see how this one plays out.
I think if RC8 is committed to the 2-stop, I think he'll be in on lap 19 or 20, judging from when he pitted on third medium tyres, so around those laps is when I think RC8 will be into the pits, or maybe might try something out of the blue and go to the end of those mediums, but we'll have to wait and see.
But we've got about 11 laps left to go. I'm looking at Saba the Mister here, Natty. He's on 16 laps on that set of mediums that he is still on at the moment.
So RC8 could, in theory, based off what Sabo's doing, and go to the end.
So that's good data then for RC8 to be looking at.
Here comes Absolute 11. He's had a good run though on RC8.
It's going to be difficult to defend.
Inside.
Gets past. Absolute's back up into the lead of the race.
Nice and easy down the inside. He still has 90% of his ERS to use, so he might try and use that to try and gain a lead over RC8, who might try something different. He's got a bit of a gap to Tonio's.
Yeah, there's a sector 3. It was that Robert Codfather who's ran it. It is Robert Codfather on the grass once again, and he's managed to get himself pointed in the right direction. Goes into the gravel though, but he will be staying out of the way. We shouldn't have the need for a safety car, or virtual safety car for that. He should be able to get back going again. But here comes RC8 then, Natty. He's a lot closer to Absolute 11. Absolute's had a bad exit off the corner, and here comes RC8 now with the DRS and the overtake. But look at how much more Absolute has, but RC8 too far behind still to go for a move into turn 1.
Absolute running quite low wings compared to RC8. It's quite evident down the start finish straight and the back straight, and you can see in the corners that RC8 just seems a little bit more comfortable. Didn't get the best of run flow through the first sector, and we'll be looking to try and get back past ahead of the Red Bull for the lead. I think JMB Surreal is going to look for a move on Ace Sabo now down the inside. Ace Sabo will try to switch back, but try to get the move back.
Right, I'm going to come back up here to our leaders then, RC8 and Absolute now separated by just over 0.6 of a second. Top start, I would use the word, but I don't really think we've hit a bit of a lull here. There's an inadvertent use for you. It's Tiger now over the back of Saba the Mister, so those tyres really starting to go off. On the front, here's the sector 1, Natty. Has it happened already? And you've got Robert Codfather who's round going very slowly, but he's alright though. Here
comes Tiger and Sabo down at turn 10, I think this is. He's 10, 10 or 11, down the inside.
Gets a better traction off the corner. They're going to go wheel to wheel now down the back straight. Then they're going to have DRS for who? DRS for Tiger opens. And so he'll have an extra 10 mile an hour boost down this back straight and try and blast past Sabo. They're going to go wheel to wheel. Sabo squeezing him to the inside. Tiger squeezes him back though. And into the next corner, gets the move done and puts himself up into 4th position on track then. But RC8 now, once again, right behind Absolute 11. But Absolute's able to use enough of the overtake button to stay ahead and actually increases his lead before we get to turn 1, just to rub salt in the wounds, it feels like.
Jutsukev going down the inside of Ted after the back straight, gets himself into 8th place, and so far it's been a good recovery drive from Jutsukev. Pitted on lap 4, I think, or lap 6 for the hards, and is up into 8th place.
And
so
Saba the Miss Sorry, and Sabah the Mister is in here, Natty, so let's see what tyres he goes to. 17 laps, 18 laps even, on a set of mediums. So that does show for RC he can actually get to the end of this race now, Natty. Just about, but he'll get to the end. And
Sabah going into the soft tyres, so he's going to be quick in the opening phases of his stint. Will come out just behind this battle here for around 10th and Ellison.
Will he come out ahead of Ellison? Ellison coming down the main straight. Sabah the Mister coming out of the pits. And they're going to go wheels all into turn 1. And Ellison manages to stay... Well, sorry, Sabah the Mister just about manages to stay in front of the racing point.
Sabah the Mister on the one stop from the soft and the medium. I think the only driver evidently to see it. We've got an RC8 on the mediums. But this is around the period he'll be in for another set of mediums or softs if he's to do the two-stop.
I don't think it's worked here, Natty. I think the power of the lull has dissipated somewhat. We used it too much to create some interesting races. Here comes RC8 there now, looking at the back of Absolute. We're going to head up towards turn 1. DRS open for RC8, but once again, Natty, I think RC8 trying to save up his ERS here. You can see now, 64% for RC8, 84%. Oh, we've got a Ferrari off. Oh, that's going to be Sabah the Infamella, sorry. And he's on the grass as we've got cars coming through turn 2 now at speed, but he'll be able to get back on track with no further dramas, but spins once again. Natty now faces the wrong way on the track, but gets going once again, and he's in 8th gears trying to spin the car back round. Tony's comes into the pits for another pit stop. And yeah, remember he did have that
Tiger onto the podium.
Indeed it does.
Those mediums go to the end, 8 laps.
Oh, Infamella's gone round again, Natty. He needs to come out of 8th gear. There we go. 5th is an improvement, but those tyres will be absolutely baked now as RC8's fallen to just over a second behind. Absolutely lost it again. Oh, those tyres are just cooked for Infamella. He can't get any traction off of them, but he needs to stop spinning them up so much. He's just doing donuts in the middle of the track now. He needs to calm it down, just get back into a lower gear, potentially probably lower than 5th, and just needs to get back going again. He's going to be very careful and wait for everyone to go past before he gets back out on track. He needs to be a bit calmer with the throttle then. He's going to try and get back on track now, and indeed has got back going again, so that's good news there for Infamella.
Absolutely haven't got a 1.5 second gap now to RC8, so he's pulling ahead of the Alpha men. The Alpha RC8's into the pits.
So RC8 then feeling the grip on those medium tyres, comes into the pits for a set of the softs. One would assume Yellow's set to 2 once again. Is that still Infamella? It is. Going very slowly, but has got back going again, crucially though.
And I think Sabah the Mister has got past Ted there for 8th place. And Infamella has retired the car.
I was going to say that the lull was teasing us there. Safety car!
Oh, on Tigers in 3rd!
Oh, and he's right by the pits, Natty. So Tiger darts into the pits then. That will be for the soft tyres. Oh, lol. I doubted the power of the... But Tiger Assassin then dives into the pits.
Tonio's as well pitted on the previous lap, stays out.
And so he'll get back ahead of Tiger on track.
Into the pits.
But
Sabo stays out. This has worked really well for Sabo as well.
This has also worked out really well for Natty. Jitsi Kev, who was on those hard tyres, now goes to a set of the softs. And wow, here we go. RC8 on a set of soft tyres as well. If Absolute were to come into the pits, as Ted's retired from the session. And that must be a manual retirement, surely? Because he's in the pit lane. Oh dear.
I think he's clicked the wrong tyres.
Oh dear. But will we see Absolute coming into the pits then? Got a lot of drivers getting penalties for speeding under the safety car. They won't be able to serve those before the safety car restart. But will we see Absolute come into the pits then? Comes around the final corner. Does he pull into the pits? He stays out. No, does come into the pits.
This is what I'm assuming for a set of soft tyres.
Surely to try and defend from RC8 and all of the cars behind him. Indeed, it is for the softs. I can see the tyres from here.
Now it's a case of can these drivers not get too many penalties as the field will be bunched up. And the top two haven't got any penalties. Tonio's under 3 seconds. Tiger, Sabo, and Bates all have 9 seconds. Jutsi Kev 3 seconds. So Jutsi Kev.
Oh wow! Jutsi Kev is still technically on the podium here somehow. Because he's got only 3 seconds of penalties compared to 9 for most of the drivers in front of him. But Natty, we're going to have this safety car for a while. The field is very, very spread out at the moment. You can see there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen just how strung out the cars actually are.
I've just had a look at the race director. Absolute 11 has 2 warnings to his name, so 1 more, and it will be a 3-second time penalty. RC8 has got no warnings at all in this race.
So things are about to get very interesting, or muy interesante, as they say in Mexico, because that's where we are tomorrow for the Premier Series, and indeed on Thursday for the Super League. And make sure you go and check those out. They will be streamed 8:30 for the Premier League and 8 o'clock for the Super League, so watch out for those later on this week. And then on Friday we're at GT Sport in Italy for the Sardinia Road Track A track in Group 3 cars. Looking forward to that one. Play Duchy is your championship leader in that, but the fight is not over. Still got 3 races left to go. And on Sunday, Natty, it's weekend league time back at Suzuka for the weekend league. Your defending champion Natty G leading the way in the standings in that particular championship as well, with only 4 races left to go, Natty, I think.
Yep.
This is my fault for throwing to you there. Tonio Sen, we've actually got a car in the way here of Hampton, I think that is, in 14th place. That is a lapped car, and we'll be getting out of the way very quickly. But Massic, we've got a lot of drivers here who potentially are looking at their first podium. I'm looking at Tiger, GSY Bates, Brizzy, Ellison, potentially J&B Surreal if he can do a madness off the restart. But we're going to have a 5 or 6 lap shootout here, and it looks like it's going to be a good one in the Freshman League, a league that's never too far away from the drama, the controversy, and indeed the action.
It's Jutsi Kev in a really good position here. We know what pace Jutsi Kev has, and he has 6-second time penalties fewer than the next 3 cars in front of him.
And we haven't had a chance to look at this yet, but thanks to everybody joining in the stream. All 21 of you. Hello to Cryptech, Dan Schneider, Tobster. We had hit a bit of a lull, but we still had a good battle for the lead. But the lull has added some extra intrigue to this race with the safety car period, closing up all of the drivers once again. So I was just saying the power of the almighty L. Yeah, I think it is too powerful. We keep saying that we're going to stop using it, but we're not going to stop using it. We lied. But that's going to be the safety car back out again on track. But Marlander seems to get more laps in the Freshman League than Absolute does. Definitely gets more screen time. But yeah, so that's the safety car out for the lap 23 of 28. Pierre is saying that Tiger will finish on the podium or he's going to crash. So that's quite
There's no alternative.
Yeah, there is no alternative, so it's podium or die basically for Tiger Assassin. Podium or bust. But we've still got, I think that's Tanchiri coming through the end of the first sector. I'm trying to predict if we're going to get back to green flag racing this lap.
I reckon we might.
We may do if Tanchiri puts his fast boots on.
Could be a late one.
Yeah, it could be a very late one, you're right.
I reckon it'll be called through the long right-hander.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tanchiri now is... Oh, it's going to be... He's catching up to the back of the pack. Let's see if the lights go out on the safety car then as we come through the final sector now. If it gets within 10 car lengths of Daza, then I think we're going to go back to green flag racing this lap. Is it going to be called... Doesn't look like it, Natty. I think we'll have another lap of safety car action here. Oh, well, actually, that being said, Tanchiri has now just caught up to the back of the pack.
Could be late, but it doesn't look like it.
I don't think so, no. That would be a very late call. The game would be on something else if it calls in the safety car now. Okay, yeah. I was going to say, because it was going past the exit, to see the safety car.
Left across the foot.
Yeah. just goes through the barrier, right? But we should get back to green flag racing this lap then. Will be a 4-lap shootout to the end of this race. Absolute 11 still leads the way after starting on pole position, but that doesn't tell you the full story of this race. RC8 in second at the moment, Tonios in third. Tiger Assassin somehow finds himself back up in fourth position after getting damage on lap 1. Savile Mister in fifth. Cheers by Bates stayed out on the medium tyres. He's in sixth position. Jutsikev, sorry, might be regretting burning out that set of soft tyres now. He's in seventh. Brizzy in 8th, Edison in ninth, and JMB Surreal is in 10th. Ace to Savage just outside the top 10 in 11th, but you have to say, Natty, looking like he's in a very poor position here. 11 lap old hard tyres against all of the cars in front and behind who have nearly new or brand new soft or medium compound tyres.
Yeah, he's going to struggle for grip compared to the other guys, but they'll definitely get him to the end, but compared to the guy around him who are much fresher and newer tyres, it's going to be a tough job to get up the field. But something I've noticed is it's nice and overcast.
Oh no, you don't think? There's no way, right?
Please,
there's no way.
Please.
If it rains with 4 laps to go, I don't know what I'll do. I'm just going to lose my stuff on live on commentary. If it starts to rain, surely not, right?
Please.
Natty's begging the rain gods now for a little bit of rain.
Maybe Ted was right all along.
Safety car in this lap, Natty, so Absolute 11 becomes the de facto safety car in this final sector. He dictates the pace, he decides when we go back to the green flag. I'm going to use my American colloquialisms there. I'm going to say boogity to go back to the green flag racing. The safety car then going through the long triple apex or quadruple apex, even right-hander. Down towards the final couple of corners, then Absolute going very slowly. Of course, he is allowed to do that, but he decides once again where we go back to the green flag and where we get back underway for the United States Grand Prix. The safety car has reached the pit entry, so Absolute's going to go soon. He's gone now. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing for 5 more laps here around the circuit of the Americas track. The McLaren pulls off out of the way to let all of the cars go through. Let's go racing, boys. Here we go up towards turn 1. Then all of the cars on soft tyres in our top 5. RC8 7/10 of a second now behind Absolute, trying to make his way up through the field. Jutsikev already up into 6th position and back past GSY Bates up towards turn 1. GSY Bates coming back at the 3rd place man in the championship, but can't make anything of it. In towards turn 1, 7/10 of a second now behind is at Savile Mister from Tiger Assassin, but Jutsikev is really getting on here now, and Natty's gotten very dark very quickly. The rain might be coming here.
But definitely spice things up if it were to rain. A clean start from everyone, I think. No damage to any of the cars. Jutsikev getting the jump from Bates.
RC8 and Absolute going wheel to wheel into the hairpin. Natty, RC8's going to go through and up into the lead of the race. So RC8 on the inside. Absolute's going to try and get the cut back now and switch it back on this championship rival down the back straight. But we've seen Absolute been running less wings than the Alfa Romeo. In fact, he's already blasting up alongside and blasting past. And that's here. I think it's raining. There's rain on the chassis of the Red Bull. We come down to the next corner. RC8's going to try and go round the outside. Gets it stopped in time, but just about can't get the move round the outside. Can't get the drive. Can't get the traction. He's going to try and get the switch back once again and prioritise the exit. Jutsikev, it's up into 5th, but he's hit Savile Mister and Savo's round. Savo's round in the middle of sector. Yellow's in sectors 2 and 3 once again. That's for the Ferrari. Let's go back up here to the battle for the lead, because here comes RC8 now looking all over the back of the Red Bull. 3 laps to go here. Tonio 6/10 of a second behind. No DRS just yet. That's going to be enabled on the next lap. Tonio picks up another 3-second time penalty to go, and RC8 go for it into the final corner. Backs out of it there. In fact, now we've got all of our top 3 on relatively similar levels of ERS usage. Absolute's using all of his to try and stay ahead of RC8 and his championship rival in towards turn 1. 3/10 of a second now between our top 2. Absolute just about manages to stay ahead. Natty, it's definitely raining. It's definitely raining.
And here comes the rain. And Savile Mister was on for a really good strategy. Unfortunate with that collision with Jutsikev, but the front 3 batting. Tonios is now catching up to this battle as well. Does have 6 seconds of time penalties, unfortunately for him, but the top 2 still without any time penalties, and it's RC8 or Absolute can still win this race. It's going to be really interesting to see who can.
Oh, Tonios! Tonio's nearly lost it at the corner there, but Tiger Assassin now is closing on this group of cars. Jitsikev right behind him. We know that these two were talking about the strategy before the race. And here comes Jitsikev now looking at the back of Tiger Assassin. Can he win from the back here? As we find ourselves on that 26 of 28, Tiger Assassin really closing down that gap. He can smell, he can basically taste his first podium position in the Formula 1 leagues here at Gavra Racing. Absolute still leads us then through the final sector and down the hill towards turn 19 he comes. RC8 still right glued to the gearbox of the Red Bull, 6/10 of a second now between these two. DRS will be enabled on this next lap then. We're going to have 2 laps of DRS to see if it changes any of the positions here, but Jitsikev's all over the back of Tiger Assassin looking to relegate the Haas back one more position. Brakes very late for the final corner. Can he get the drive off of the corner though and get past the Haas? Got a lovely helicopter shot here as will Jitsikev try and move up and towards turn 1, maybe a bit too far behind on this occasion, indeed is too far behind. Race control confirming and DRS will be enabled on this lap. RC8 4/10 of a second now behind Absolute. We've seen how a similar gap has been between these two, and Natty, it's really raining now. He's going to head on to the final 2 laps of the race. The lull has worked. It's raining now, but how much will it rain? Will we see a DRS disabled on the final lap, and how's that going to catch out our drivers here as Jitsikev's all over the back of Tiger Assassin? You'd expect him to be making that move very, very quickly here as through the hairpin they come, as now RC8's all over the back of Absolute. Absolute still has 1 corner cutting penalty away from a 3-second time penalty, in which case that will see RC8 move past him up into the lead of the race. Let's look backwards now on the Red Bull down towards the hairpin there of turn 10, but RC8 still too far behind to make a move, and actually Jitsikev's going for a Tiger around the outside, gets the move done, puts himself up into 4th. Can he get Tonios for the podium?
This is going to help out RC8 a little bit with the rain. He's running, or we've seen him running more wings in this race than the Red Bull in front, so Absolute 11 is going to struggle for grip in the last lap of this race.
Lap 27 of 28 now, what has been an enthralling American Grand Prix here in the Freshman League. If Jitsikev gets on the podium here, that will be one hell of a comeback drive. Tiger picks up another 3-second time penalty down in 5th. RC8 sliding it out of the final corner. We still do have DRS enabled, even though the rain is coming down. The drivers find themselves on slicks on this final lap of the race and in towards turn 1. RC8 locks up a little bit. He's not going to have the drive off the corner, but Absolute's had a horrible exit here, Natty. Here comes RC8. This is his chance now. This is the last lap of the race. Less than a second now between our front 2 here. They've been going at it all race since the start of the race till lap 28, and they're going to give each other no quarter, I'm sure, on the final lap. Through the end of the first sector then, you would think RC8 has one more chance then to get past Absolute and up to the lead of the race, but Absolute's had a horrible exit here, Natty, and here comes Absolute. Some of the misters out of the race. Here comes RC8 round the outside into the hairpin. He backs out though. He's trying to get the DRS, so down the back straight. Has that been the mistake that's cost RC8 the win here? He's 6/10 behind that. He's too far behind, surely. Sabo is out on the final lap of the race. It looks like he's a bit too far behind, but Jitsikev's going to go for a move. Antonio's for the final podium position. Squeezes him to the inside. Jitsikev's going to go down the inside of the AlphaTauri, cuts back over the line of the AlphaTauri. Antonio's goes wide. That allows Jitsikev into 3rd on track. Absolute is maybe going to hold off. RC8 here is going to come around the final sector for the final time on the final lap. The top 2 separated by nothing, but Absolute's gone wide. RC8's got to move round the outside. Maybe can he get the better traction? He's going to go round the outside on the final lap of the race, down towards turn 19. They're going to go wheel to wheel. RC8's done it. RC8's done it. No, he hasn't. No, it's contact. And Absolute's round. Absolute's in the wall. Here comes Jitsikev now to the line. It's going to be RC8's going to win the American Grand Prix. Absolute's in 2nd. Jitsikev is 3rd. No, Tonios is 3rd on penalties. Jitsy's 4th. Tiger is 5th. GSY Bates now is going to cross line to finish in 6th position.
JMB Surreal has no penalties, could move up a lot of positions here.
And JMB Surreal to the line, what's going to be? JMB Surreal is in 6th. What a end to the race that was, as I think Dat is going to pick up the final points paying position then. Wow. Wow. That was insane. Our final 2 going wheel to wheel with 2 laps to go. So in the final lap, 2 corners to go. RC8 gets it at the penultimate corner. Absolutely, look at the front wing damage there on the front left end plate of the Red Bull. He'll be bitterly disappointed with that. So RC8 cuts into Absolute 11's lead then, with 2 races left to go. Sorry, Natty. I have no idea what that even means in terms of the championship gap.
Well, it's come down by 7 points, and it's still all to play for in Brazil. And Jutsu kept getting the in-game drive of the day, starting from the back, having the spin. I don't know if that was the AI or himself, but his car spun in the opening stint and was able to recover. What was it, 3rd or 4th place? 4th place, I think. So a good recovery drive from Jutsu.
Jutsu, you are in P4, I believe. I think Turnio's there grabbed the final podium position by virtue of penalties, but what an end to the race that was. I think I think that was the fastest I think I've ever spoken in any race then. But RC8, with an epic victory, takes the win here at Kota. Absolute 11 will be bitterly disappointed with that race. In 2nd position, Tonios in 3rd, Jitsukev in 4th, Tiger Assassin 5th, JMB Surreal in 6th, Brizzy 7th, GSY Bates in 8th, Ellis in 9th, Daza finishes in the last of the points paying positions in 10th, Tonsuri 11th, Ace Sabo in 12th, Robert Codfather 13th, Hampton in 14th, and then our DNF is Sabo the Mister, still classified, but did not actually take the checkered flag. Ted went on to the intermediates. Turned out it would have actually been the right call for the end of the race, but he's in 16th position. Infamella in 17th, and now Bagabreath will be the last of our finishers today, and he is in 18th and last position. But what a race that was. In fact, RC8 picking up the fastest lap as well, so add an extra point to his points tally in the Freshman League. But what a race that was, Nancy. What about your instant race reaction?
Yeah, really good race. The front two battling throughout, but looking at the Constructors' Championship as well, this is going to be a really good race for the Haas team. Tiger finishing in 5th place, and a lot of his other constructor rivals down either in the bottom half of the point or out of the points. So a good run for Haas in this week's race.
Yeah, certainly. And Robert Codfather saying that his ERS was stuck on the whole race. Yeah, that can happen, unfortunately. It's a weird thing that the game keeps on doing. But yeah, there's not much we could do about that. All of the RC8 fans in the chat there, I think, speaking a little bit of bit of Italian, which I don't understand because I'm not cultured. But anyway, that's going to round us out here for the Freshman League. Don't forget to join Tiger and Evan in the commentary box tomorrow, where we are bringing you the action from Mexico City in the Premier League Series, a track where Natty, you can wrap up the title, in fact, over 2 races left to go. It'll be the first time that's ever been done in the Premier Series. And also don't forget to join Tiger Assassin and Cypher Night, where once again we are going to be in Mexico at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Super League, bringing you all of the action from the fastest league here on Formula 1 in Gavra Racing. And then on Friday, Natty and Cryptic will be showing you the action from the GT Sport Championship over in Sardinia in Italy. And finally on Sunday, don't forget to join Tiger Assassin, who will be commentating by himself. So if you love his voice, I would go and join that one. He'll be commentating for the Weekend League, where Natty, you once again find yourself in a championship fight for your 3rd consecutive title in that series. But we've got 2 races left to go then. The championship is still on in the Freshman League, and what a way for RC8 to close that gap in the championship here. 2 corners to go, gets past his championship rival and up into the lead of the race. That's going to round us out here though, all of the action from the Freshman Series. Big thanks to Gav as well for doing all the work to allow us to go racing, and yeah, we're going to see you guys next week.
Goodbye.